So you hear that turbo noise at low speeds especially. And this car really picks up. Today we are driving this 2018 Audi A4 Premium Plus with the Quattro all-wheel drive system. This one is powered by a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder making 252 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. Before we get out on the road, I just want to thank First International Auto Group out of Merrimack, New Hampshire for lending me this car for this review. Check out this one and many others on their website. Of course, this is the B9 Audi A4, which began in 2017 through model year 2025, where they discontinued it. So they essentially absorbed this Audi A4 into the A5, which will be their flagship sedan, along with the A7, which they're still keeping alive. Mark Chrisman, their CEO, said in 2023 that they may bring back the A4 and A6 as electric vehicles, but of course that was 2 years ago and things have changed, so we're kind of still up in the air on whether or not that will happen. I do think overall it was a strategic move that they made the right choice on, because people are buying less and less sedans nowadays, and to combine the A4 and A5, you're basically combining those sales, and I doubt they will lose a step in terms of their sedan numbers that they sell. The wheels we have on this thing are from the Sport Plus package, however, this is only the Sport package model. I believe these Sport Plus wheels were brought in, after the sale, maybe by one of the two owners of this car. But I will say they complement the car very well. Of course, with the Sport Plus package, we would have gotten the S-line steering wheel. We just have the standard round shape here instead of the D-shaped steering wheel that comes with the Sport Plus package. The steering wheel itself is still good looking. We have high quality paddle shifters on here that are mated to our 7-speed dual clutch transmission. We do have cruise control down here, the ability to control the view of our menu up here, as well as, talk to our navigation and pick up phone calls. Volume controls and skip track are just this tiny little button here. Of course, we have the ability to move our steering wheel too. So you can manually shift this dual clutch transmission. Right now I have it in dynamic mode, but as far as drive modes, they pop up on the screen here. We have comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. Individual allows you to control some of your settings individually, but of course I will note, since we don't have the Sport Plus package, we don't have the adaptive suspension. The Sport suspension setup is fixed, but it does lower the ride height by 23 millimeters. Put it in manual mode here. So of course this thing has plenty of pickup. That 273 pound-feet of torque, along with all-wheel drive, really lends itself to a good 0 to 60 time, quoted at 5.7 seconds. You have plenty of passing power in this A4, especially on the highway. Although this was an early model for the B9 generation, I will say that we do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto still. They're wired, so you do need a USB cord to hook up to it, but obviously, in my opinion, wired setups are mostly better. If they don't work, like the wireless ones just tend to be buggy most of the time, so wired setup is going to get you a consistent connection. Although I will say Volkswagen, my better half as a 2017 Volkswagen Jetta, that CarPlay, even though it's wired, isn't the best. Her infotainment screen tends to glitch out all the time. But, I just wanted to note that, since Volkswagen and Audi are, of course, the same parent company. So having the paddle shifters definitely adds some fun to this car, and they're quite responsive with the 7-speed dual clutch. And this fixed sport suspension really keeps you planted on these windy back roads. And honestly, I can definitely tell the difference in the lowered ride height. Of course, the last Audi A4 I drove was a 2016, but that one didn't have any sort of sport suspension, and you could tell it was definitely a lot less planted than this Audi A4 B9. Switching the drive mode to comfort, of course we're already in a low gear, so it's not going to have to downshift here, but the car doesn't really change drastically. I will say that the transmission tuning is a lot less aggressive in comfort. If you have the adaptive Sport Plus suspension, it will soften your ride a little bit. It won't raise or lower the suspension. It's really just how stiff those springs are. As far as fuel economy, this Audi A4 is rated for 28 city and 34 highway. A lot of people report great fuel economy numbers in these A4s. I was looking on the Reddit and of course some of the forums, and people are reporting numbers in the mid to high 30s, which is quite impressive. Interior quality doesn't feel like a lower grade Audi. You have a lot of high grade materials in here. Of course we have tri-zone climate, which we have the ability to control our rear climate too, which is great. We have 3-step heated seats. We have a digital part of our gauge cluster. We have an infotainment screen up here. And my favorite part about this interior is actually this aluminum trim that runs across the dashboard. I think it lends itself to a timeless and design that's going to also be really easy to keep clean. Absolutely no gloss black in here whatsoever, which I really appreciate. Having gloss black down here by the cup holders is always troublesome because people scratch it or spill stuff on it, and it's just really hard to keep clean. This Audi A4 Premium Plus is equipped with a sunroof. We have keyless entry and push button start, so feel free to leave that key in your pocket. We don't have automatic start, remote start from our key fob, which is okay unless you're up here in the winter in New England. You might want it. Maybe you can get an aftermarket setup or even get one right from Audi. The back seats also have ample room. Remind you that this is not the A3, this is a step up from that in terms of room. You definitely have enough to get comfy back there unless you're maybe above 6'2". Myself, I'm 5'9", and I can sit behind myself pretty easily. I will say that I keep my seat pretty far back just to keep comfortable, and I sit behind myself no problem. The front driver's seat also has memory adjustments. We have 2 settings on here, so you can have 2 people with drastically different heights. You press that button when you get in the car and no problems whatsoever. I find that when I drive my girlfriend's 2017 Volkswagen Jetta, it doesn't have memory seats, and I often have to remember to adjust the seat before I get in, because if I get in, I feel like I'm driving a clown car without adjusting the seat to my height. She isn't a short girl whatsoever, but she does drive pretty close to the steering wheel compared to how I like to sit, which, of course, everyone's going to sit differently. So we are approaching the worst road in Merrimack, New Hampshire at 20 miles an hour. Let's see how the suspension holds up. So it handled that with ease. I will say when I drove the 2021 Audi Q3 last week, I mentioned the short wheelbase being a problem. This feels to have the same suspension setup where it's nice and soft, but still gives you an agile ride. But we have the added wheelbase length, which lends itself to a more comfortable ride over those larger bumps. All right, while we're pulled over, throw this thing in reverse. We do have parking sensors. Our mirrors fold down to make sure we're not curbing our wheels, especially these nice Sport Plus ones. We do have a pretty nice backup camera. Not super high resolution, but enough to get the job done. I will say, if you buy this Audi A4, I definitely recommend getting a nicer exhaust setup. Don't completely delete the mufflers and cats because it'll sound bad, quite honestly. But if you get maybe like an APR tune and an exhaust from them, you'll get a nice refined sound that'll provide a little bit more noise into the cabin here and give you more of a sporty feel, because you definitely have the speed. I honestly don't really think you need to add much more power to these Audi A4s. They're quite powerful, especially since this isn't the Ultra trim, this is the Premium Plus. So you do get the 252 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque, which really move a car of this size. You don't really get much exhaust noise in the interior, but listen to how it sounds on the outside. The one thing you can definitely hear at lower speeds, and I'll put it into dynamic just so you can, I mean, it doesn't really provide noise, but you know, just for the sake of it. So you hear that turbo noise at low speeds, especially. You know, and this car really picks up. It's got an all-wheel drive system that is quite impressive. There's literally no slip whatsoever. You really do feel like you're getting all of the power right to the wheels and translating that to a 0 to 60 time of 5.7 seconds. And then you can throw this thing in automatic again, put it back in comfort, and feel like you're getting a refined, comfortable daily driver that doesn't have, you know, a snappy dual clutch that's going to bother you at low speeds. I feel like this thing is tuned quite well to be, you know, a fun weekend car and also a comfortable daily driver. Of course, I've personally never owned an Audi car, but I have driven a lot of their lineup. Between this and the 2016 Audi A4, which is of course the B8 generation, I feel like they made a lot of improvements. Design-wise, they've just subtly improved the design language to be a little bit more modern on the outside without being, you know, overboard, not changing it drastically so you don't even know what type of car this is besides the badges. I feel like overall, with the design on the exterior plus these Sport Plus wheels, this is a very nice looking car. The one thing I would add on the outside is maybe do red brake calipers. I feel like that would kind of complete the look, where it has a sporty vibe to it but is not overboard. I think these Audi A4s are quite good looking. So if you're in the market for a luxury sedan, I honestly would look no further. Between this and the Audi A6, I feel like the A6 definitely has a lot more room, especially in the front seat. But the A4 here, you know, of course I'm not a tall guy, but I'm bigger. I'm about 250 pounds. So I will say that I fit perfectly in this seat. And if you're my size, if you're a heavier guy, you will too. There's definitely added room too if you need to move back your seat. If you're 6'1" or 6'2", you're gonna fit comfortably up here. I have about 3.5, maybe 4 inches of headroom above me, so definitely keep that in mind. With that being said, please leave your questions and comments below. I always like to interact with you guys and hear what you have to say about these videos, so definitely do that. Watch my 2016 Audi A4 video as well if you're comparing those two cars. We basically have recorded all of the mid-2010s Audi products, so please feel free to watch those videos. I have an Audi playlist, generally speaking, too, so you can kind of go look at their entire lineup. Thank you all again for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.